Well, you know that feeling when you ask an AI a question and then you get a perfect answer, and then at the very next one is completely useless? Well, it turns out that the secret to getting consistently great results isn't really with the AI, it's all about the prompt. And today we are gonna break down the anatomy of a perfect one. Yeah.
Write about climate change solutions. Something about Paris.
It's super frustrating, isn't it? And it happens to all of us. But here's the good news, it's a completely fixable problem. So now let's check the difference here. So on the left, we have got a messy and vague prompt that just tells about the money. And what we get back is pure chaos. But on the right, we have a well structured and thought out prompt that delivers a targeted and actually useful answer. And that's the clarity which we are aiming for. Okay, so here's the game plan. We are gonna start by defining the problem and then we'll break down the four key ingredients of a great prompt: the instruction, context, example, and the constraint. Then we'll put it all together to create the perfect recipe. Okay, so the first things first, let's really nail down the problem which we are trying to solve here, which is basically how we move those chaotic random inputs to clear intentional results. And believe it or not, the solution really just boils down to four key components, and that's it, just four. And the ingredient number one, the instruction. Yeah, so instruction, the ingredient number one. This is the absolute core of your prompt. It tells the AI exactly what you want to do. You can think of it as an instruction, as a verb of your request, right? So words like summarize, explain, translate, write, etc. So it's like if you are giving your friend directions, you wouldn't just mumble the store, would you? No, you would say drive 2 blocks and turn to the left. A clear instruction gives AI the same kind of critical direction, and wow, you can just look at the difference that makes it in practice. Tell me about Paris is basically a lottery ticket. Who knows what you'll get? But being specific, summarize 3 sentences cultural impact, which gives an AI a really clear target to hit, which will give a more useful result. So it all boils down to the clear instruction gives you precision and focus. You're not just hoping for the best, and you're actually aiming for a better outcome. And yeah, moving on to ingredient number two, context. This is all the background information AI needs to properly frame its response. And what is context? It basically means answers the who, what, and where for the AI. Like you're a doctor explaining something to a patient, or maybe a marketer writing some ad copy. Providing this information is what generates a specific, generic, boring encyclopedia entry from a truly tailored, helpful piece of advice. And right here, this is the power of context in addition. Without it, prompt like explain linear regression gets you a dry, dense textbook definition, but adding context, you are a professor explaining it to students, the AI's output is totally transformed into something that is simple and relatable, and the payoff, oh, it's huge. And the context delivers relevance, personalization, and way more accuracy. Okay, yeah. So now coming to our third ingredient, which is the example, and this is basically the show. And don't tell the method for AI, and let me tell you, it is so powerful. So the example is, it's basically a template. So you're giving AI a super clean and clear input output pair showing it exactly what successful result looks like, and this takes all the guesswork out of the equation. So no more trial and error. I mean, just look at this. Without an example, the task is so ambiguous, right? But by giving it a clear example after shot, the AI instantly gets the pattern and can apply it perfectly. So by using examples, you're pretty much guaranteeing consistency, precise pattern, following the absolute clarity. And this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the fourth ingredient, which is constraint. And you can think of constraint as guardrails that keep the AI's response focused, structured, and actually practical. You know, a constraint can be anything from a word count or a sentence limit to a specific format like give me in bullet points or in particular tone of voice. So these rules are particularly crucial for getting an answer that you can actually use. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. And if you ask an AI to write about the climate change solutions, it could spit out 10 random facts or a 10-page essay, right? So it's super overwhelming. But by adding constraints, 5 bullet points under 12 words, you get a clean, scannable, and far more useful list. And this the real benefit here is that you can get something that you can use immediately, and these provide clarity which makes the output ready for professional and right away use. And all right, we've got our four ingredients, and now for the fun part. Let's mix all of them together and cook up the perfect prompt. Okay, so watch closely how we layer all these pieces together. We start by setting the context. We tell it to act as a financial advisor. Then we add our core instruction. After that, we'll guide the tone with a sample and little example. And finally, we define the boundaries within the constraint, and voila, so here is the final and beautiful result. See how every single component works together. There's no room for guessing anymore. And the AI knows its role, the task, and the exact tone you want and the precise format required. And this, my friends, is the payoff. Remember the chaotic mess we got from Tell Me About Money or Tell Me About Paris? So, well, here in our new structured form, it delivers a clean, clear, simple, and perfectly tailored explanation. This example is the difference between fighting with AI and making it our effective tool. And here is a quick recap. It's really simple. Given clear instruction, provide some context, show it an example of what you want, and set some constraints. And that's the entire framework. And now it's your turn. So you have the secret recipe of turning a frustrating gadget into a powerful partner. And the next time you get a bad answer from AI, don't just blame the AI. Take a look at the prompt.